Alrighty, well, first we'll start the video for YouTube, like
There we
usual.
go.
There we
There
go.
we
That's
go.
on, and now we're going live on audio in 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to another episode of
Business Bros.
Special Sunday, Super Bowl Sunday edition.
Spectacular Super Bowl Sunday.
It would have been more spectacular if our team would have made it.
Well, for sure. I mean, but who really expected that? I mean, they had a great record. They had a great year. But you know, it's the Chargers. We already know they're going to eat it when it comes to playing the Patriots in Super Bowl in playoffs.
Playoffs. All right,
Sorry,
I give you that. I love my Chargers, but the
Love
only
them to
thing
death.
that bothers me about the end of this year is that they didn't show up to play that last game, and since they didn't show up to play, it kind of tarnishes the fact that they had 12 wins. Right? I mean, 12 wins is a huge accomplishment. It's a big accomplishment. Any NFL team that has 12 wins in a season is huge. And in the end, when they didn't show up to play, it kind of tarnishes them. Kind of reminds me of business in a way, right? So if you think of it, anytime you are out there putting in the hard work and building your reputation and getting yourself to a point where your clients see you as, you know, high up on the pedestal where you provide a good service, you got to make sure that you maintain that, because the minute you mess up, the minute you blow somebody off or you give them bad service for whatever reason, it can tarnish your whole reputation. It could ruin all 12 wins that you had in an entire season by you just kind of blowing things off.
Man, you know, I'm trying to think of a more PC way to say it, but there was a story that our chiefs, all of our chiefs, everybody in the higher chain of commands used to always tell when we were in the Navy. You know, you can be the best bridge builder in the world, and you could build 1,000 amazing, spectacular, wonderful bridges, but you suck one dick,
And that's
it. You're forever a cocksucker. Sorry for those of you
rated
who...
PG? You know mom's watching,
I
right?
know. I'm sorry, mom. But, you know, look, this is Navy talk, okay?
It is Navy talk. All right,
This is where we're at. This is where we're at.
I
Sorry,
would have
Mom.
went with, but you mess up with one bridge and that's it.
Yeah,
It doesn't go the same way?
It doesn't really like, have that
It
same...
doesn't sting as much.
Yeah, it's
it doesn't
like-
sting as much.
I was like, I have no idea how to make this PG. Like, this is what it is.
This is the story, and I'm sticking to it.
Yep. Sorry, Navy training. It is what it is.
So, anyways, we're recording because there's a certain amount of things that we want to start doing with the Business Bros podcast. And our calendar has started to fill up nicely, which means we're getting a lot more people to come in and be a part of the podcast, which is really awesome, by the way. I mean, this month of January, we got to meet so many cool people, got to interview so many cool people. December also, right before Christmas, interviewed so many amazing people that are in real estate, that are in and around real estate, stagers, lenders. I mean, all kinds, escrow people, title people, everybody, right? Shout out to Ryan, because Ryan's helping me get through this next catapult, right? So any agents out there that need help with, actually, you know what? I mean, it's in your contract. If you're going to pick a title company, go with Tycor Title. Ryan's going to help you out. And it's not just that he's going to get the title work done, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. Ryan's going to support you in any way that you want. That's why I always say that he's a rock star, and he's kind of helping me take the Business Bro podcast in a positive direction, so we can bring more value to you guys, which is ultimately what we want, right?
That's all it's about.
It's always about bringing value to you, the agents, or you, the business owners out there. And so we want to make sure we continue to do that in a higher level at the best way possible. So I'm partnering up with a couple different people to help me do different things. And one of the things we want to start implementing, by the way, if you're interested in being part of the podcast, is we want to do what we have you do in real estate. Let's say you get a listing in real estate. It's not just get the listing, put the sign on it, and get it sold. I mean, yes, that's ultimately what you want to do. But when you do get a listing, we want to also make sure that each one of those listings generates you more business, right? That's kind of the whole point. Each one of those is your marketing piece, and we want to make sure that you get more business from that listing. So what do? We do a couple things ahead of time. We have a pre-marketing strategy. So there's time when we're getting the property ready to even show, because, right, I mean, we got to get the client to either help them move out or clear the clutter or whatever we're doing in the property itself to get it ready to be sold. And at the same time, we're getting the market ready and drawing up some buzz to get the market out there to see the property, because that's really what we want. We want attention from the outside, so when the inside's ready, we can mesh them and we find a buyer as quick as possible. That's the goal. So if you take that mentality, if you take that mindset and you bring it into the podcast, we want to do the same thing with each one of your episodes. We want to make sure that we give you enough time to pre-market your episode and use the information on there so that you can go out and bring more attention to what it is you do. Because remember, every time we invite you to be on the podcast, we're inviting you to tell your story, to market yourself to anybody who's out there to listen, to give you content that you can use to remarket yourself and talk about what it is that you do so that your customers are out there seeing you and you remain top of mind. So one of those things that we want to do is we want to create some, a nice little, almost like a business card promo where it'll have like our logo, maybe your contact info, and we give it to you ahead of time. And so you come in and record and your episode is not going to post the next day. I think what we're going to try to do is post date it like in 3 days at least, right? 2 or 3 days to give that time for you to market your episode ahead of time. So you can build some content and let the audience know that your episode's going to come out. And it kind of gives you that same thing that we do in real estate, that pre-marketing. So one of them is going to be that business card post. I'll have your picture. So if you want to be part of the podcast, one of the things we're going to ask you going forward is send us your headshot, right? Send us your information, send us your headshot, your contact info, your email, phone number, your Instagram handle, whatever it is that you want, so we can create this image for you, and that way you have it to pre-market. Second thing we want to do, shout out to Taylor and Reach, Mr. Sanchez out there, Steve Sanchez. Whoops, dropped the headphones. So he's going to help us do these little 60-second promo videos where it's going to be a teaser of your episode. So we're going to take some little golden nugget. You're going to have 30 minutes of audio content, 30 minutes of me helping you talk about you and promote you on the Business Bros podcast. And in that 30 minutes of content, there's going to be maybe, 10 second, 20 second, 30 second gem of information, something that was important that you talked about or that we spoke about that's important that you want your audience to hear, that differentiates you from your competition maybe. And so we take that 60-second gem and we create a little video. And now we're going to give you another little 60-second piece that's going to help you pre-market your episode. So now you get the little business card promo for your Instagram, just a straight screenshot, no motion or anything. We give you a nice little second intro with some intro music, little transitions, whatever, talking about what it is that you do, make some cool little 60-second teaser video. And then you're also going to get the audio and the video content from the podcast. So all that just for coming on the show and telling us your story. And that's what we want to do, is we want to be able to offer you more value. The more value that we can offer you, the better you're going to do, and the better you're going to enjoy working with us. And we're going to that's just the tip of the iceberg. We're working on a bunch of other things that we want to do later down the road also. But that's something that we want to bring as far as value to you for being on the podcast. How does that sound, Ham? I know I rambled. That was one of my rants for the day. Sorry.
Well, I'm over here laughing because I took the camera off of myself and I just put your face on there, which is something I normally do when you have an interviewee. And I've gotten so used to just kind of sitting back here and
not saying anything
and just kind of taking care of the video and making sure that everything's cool on audio, and commenting with everybody on Facebook Live. And it's kind of doing that same type of thing, But
you
chilling.
Forgot it's minding your show this time.
I know.
We don't have a podcast guest on Super Bowl Sunday.
I know. We should. I mean, somebody should be working that hard.
We should have invited Philip Rivers. That's what should have happened.
Right? He would have come.
He would have come.
Yeah, he's my
Sorry,
boy.
Philip.
He's my buddy.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just it really is. I'm laughing over here because I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna let him do his thing, and that's what he does.
I've gotten pretty good at the little rants every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's just because, I get to sit down and talk with all kinds of cool people.
You know what it is? It's because you're passionate about this.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love this.
It's been so much fun. So we've talked about this a lot, and that it's been a really instrumental learning experience and growth experience for me. There's a lot of things about my whole attitude that has changed over the past 8 months that we've been doing this, and it's been a mindset shift. I'm always talking about mindset, and my mindset shifted just by doing this podcast, just by being here every day and putting in the extra work and coming out and meeting people like Brian who are high energy, right?
Yeah.
Using the energy.
Who's got their energy,
Who's got their energy, exactly. Like, I love meeting people like that. And Jeanette, huge,
Miss South Bay.
Miss South Bay, just big energy.
Putting herself out there on Instagram, putting herself out there on Facebook, getting her message out as much as possible.
Yeah. You see more and more people who are doing a lot of the same things that we're doing, utilizing social media, and all of these people that we've met, everybody from Ryan and Haley, and
to the Dean Aguilars of the world.
Dean Aguilar. Oh yeah, I mean, I'm impressed by the people that we've met. Through the podcast, through more and more referrals, just more and more people that we're meeting, and I'm really looking forward. I mean, I look over at the calendar and I see names up there like Jesse Wright and Michael Francisco and Aphrodite Aguilar. I mean, just a few off the top, and it's like, I'm excited to meet these people, hear their stories, and feel their energy, because it's massive.
I almost get the little like gigglies, almost like groupie sensation, right? Because when you decide to be part of my Facebook group, for example, if you're jumping on, if you go to at Business Bros Pod on Instagram, or you go to or you look up Hernan Cias on Facebook, and you become my friend, I'm 100% honest. I kind of Facebook stalk you. I like to know what's going on in your life, and if you decide that you want to be on the podcast, I Facebook stalk you a little bit more. I want to know more about what it is you do. You'll see, I'll leave you comments. I'll talk to you. I'll have conversations with you. I want to know about what it is you do. So then when you show up to the podcast, I'm like, ooh, I know this person. Like, you know what I mean? I get that little little giggly, effect, because I become truly one of your fans. You become one of my friends. That's why, there's, and Instagram has followers and Facebook has friends. I see it more like we become friends. Mm-hmm. When your friend requests me and I accept it, my thought is, I need to get to know you. I need to actually care about what it is you do. You go on Facebook Live, you're going to see, I'm going to hop on and I'm going to listen. I may not always have the time to be on your Facebook Live the whole time, but I'm going to get on there and I'm going to be supportive of what it is you do. I want to earn your respect and earn your attention and bring you more value. I want to get to know you. And the only way I can truly bring you value is if I get to know you. If I don't know you, how am I going to know what's going to benefit you? Like, for example, I know Tim Barker, his brother's going to come down and they're going to build a nice little team. And if I ever have a listing that I know that I don't have the time to handle, chances are I'm going to go with Tim, because I know the extra things that he does for his listing appointment. I'm going to reach out to him and say, Tim, you got time to do this particular deal, right? Because I know that's the service that he's going to bring in. I know the things he's doing because I interact with him on social media. I don't just give him a like or a thumbs up or a heart. I do that, but I also like to comment. I also like to leave information. I want to get to know him personally. I want him to get to know me personally. And I do that with each and every one of you out there. And sometimes the wife gets on my case because I do spend a lot of time, commenting on social media and stuff like that. But you guys are my friends. I do love spending that time with you guys. And I want to make sure that, again, as much as I'm going to say it, as many times as I'm going to say it, I want to bring you value. And I'm only going to understand that by being a part of what's going on with you guys. Right?
Yeah.
I know.
No, rebel. It's cool. I mean, there's not much else to say. The whole point of this thing really is to find ways to bring more and more value to more and more people.
Absolutely. You know what? Speaking of value, what's going on with the Facebook? We made it a Q&A today. So we did post it that it was going to be Q&A. So we're actually looking for some questions that you guys might have. I know you're spending time with family. I know you're watching Super Bowl. I know you're out there. But we got some questions that people tend to have. And not everyone on my Facebook is in the real estate industry, right? A lot of you guys are. Many of you guys are, because that's how we've been promoting the podcast. But not everybody is. For example, I was speaking to my father-in-law this morning, because shout out to my mother-in-law. She made some menudo. Woo woo. It doesn't have to be Christmas to have menudo. Just throwing it out there. So anyways, we went over there for breakfast and he was asking me, what's the difference between a short sale and a foreclosure? And for everybody in the real estate industry, that answer is pretty, it's pretty easy off the top of your head. But somebody who's not in the real estate realm might not know the difference. They know they might be related, but they don't know the difference, right? So, and I try to make sure that I break down these types of things in terms that they'll understand. So I'll give you the example I gave them. I said, let's say I gave James over here, he let me borrow $100, right? So he lets me borrow $100 and he says, next Friday, you got to pay me back. Cool. So next Friday comes along and I go up to him and I say, James, I only have $80. Will you take the $80? And he says, you know what? You're good. We're good. We're square. We agreed, even though I borrowed $100, we agreed that the $80 would satisfy the debt, right? So he is short the $20. We've short sailed this agreement. That's what a short sale is. When you agree with your lender, when you agree with your bank, that your bank will take less than what the value of your debt is, that is a short sale. However, if I didn't pay James back and I just kind of ran away and he couldn't find me, he couldn't locate me, and he had to go through the trouble to secure something to collect the debt. In other words, if you stop paying the bank and the bank has to go out and find you and take the property back from you to turn around and sell it, that's a foreclosure. Okay, and so there's the big difference in what's the foreclosure and what's the short sale, and we're gonna start seeing things like this start to come up in the market. So if I'm having people who are not in the industry, not in the real estate world, asking those types of questions, asking what the difference is, asking why they're relevant, what's important, you know, it's kind of one of those things that you want to make sure you're out there being top of mind and helping out your clients and answering those questions. So we wanted to open up the Q&A here on our Facebook page in case anybody had any questions. And they don't have to be real estate related. It is tax season. And if you don't know, this business bro, even though I'm the real estate bro, I've had my tax license since 2006, CTEC tax license. So I haven't really advertised or built that business, and I'm not taking any new clients or anything like that. Matter of fact, I'm working with one of the tax preparers that's been preparing taxes longer than me to kind of take over my book of business because I just don't have the time. I have to choose, right? Like Jimmy told me before, he's like, you got too many irons in the fire. You got to, and now I'm at the point where I got to choose which irons I want to focus my attention on. And and the podcast, be honest, the podcast is probably one of my favorite things to do. I get to talk on a mic to people in different industries, and it's really awesome. So I got to take some irons out of the fire. So, but I do have tax knowledge and I am licensed and I can answer those questions. So if you guys have any questions right now, let's see what else. My degree's in accounting, so I guess I can answer some accounting questions. And what else? I have a life license, so I don't do much there either as far as business is concerned, but I'm a licensed junkie. Here's the reason, you know, I didn't know it at the time. I kind of did, kind of didn't. My buddy James Russ, he's the owner of a Mike Russ Financial Training Center. They do a lot of pre-licensing. You want to work with securities. You need a securities license. You go to MikeRuss.org. You want to get your real estate license. You go to MikeRuss.org. You want to get your insurance license for life, P&C, health. You go to MikeRuss.org. And so when I was teaching tax school for him at Mike Russ, he said any of the employees can go out and get whatever the license. Just take the coursework. It's free for you guys, for the employees. So I did. I went and got a couple licenses, and I learned that as long as I maintain my license and I keep it active, when I send a referral to somebody, I can get paid on that. Right. And so I have different licenses. It also allows me to have conversation with clients that other people can't. A real estate agent cannot have a tax conversation with you because they're not licensed to answer tax questions. I can. Right? When you sell your home and you have all this extra money left over and you need to figure out where to reinvest it, if you're going to do something like a fixed indexed annuity or you want to put it into something, I have a license where I can talk to you about things like that. And so it opens up the door so that I can have conversations, but I will always refer you to someone who does it full time all the time, but at least I can have that conversation with you. So we wanted to open up Facebook Q&A today so that we can answer some of these questions. I know Saul jumped on here, right? And Saul does a lot of legacy planning. His legacy, what's the name of his website? Do you remember? Legacy IR?
LegacyIR.com?
I think it's LegacyIR.com. Saul helps lots of people, usually high income earners, to, financially plan what it is they're going to do. So, he's one of those people that I would refer some stuff out to, right? If you needed help, maybe with real estate, if you were on the listing side, I have a number of agents that we've spoken to. Buyer side, I have a number of agents that we've spoken to that I know can do quality work, that I know have put out put the information out there, that have consistently shown that they provide a high quality service to their clients. And I can help I don't know, I guess how would you call it, like a eharmony.com type thing. You're a client, you need help finding an agent. I can get to know your personality. I can match you with an agent who has a very similar personality, or maybe speaks a language that you need to speak, and get you in contact and get you rolling out there. Right? So there's a bunch of Q&A questions that you can ask if you wanted to hop on the Facebook.
Personal matchmaker.
Yeah, a personal matchmaker or professional matchmaker.
There you
right?
go.
Or for example, real estate agents, you need to file your tax returns. I know you're procrastinating because you're barely getting your 1099s. I know you're thinking about how the hell am I going to pay this tax bill this year.
But everybody had to get their 1099s by last Thursday, though, right?
They had, if you're a business, you had to have mailed it out by the 31st. Doesn't mean you got it yet, but they had to have mailed it out by the 31st.
Got it.
So that time frame's here, right? And if real estate agents, your 1099 people, you should have all your stuff put away, all the expenses, all your Sandicor fees, or your association fees, all your MLS dues, all those little expenses that you had, all the expenses you spent on getting a house staged, all the expenses you paid on photography, anything you spent in the production of income. You need to start putting these things together because it's right around the corner. If you're an entity, in other words, if you're an LLC, you're an S corp, you need to file that tax return by March 15th. If you're an individual, you're sole proprietor, you got till April 15th. Now, here's the thing. You can ask for an extension. Yes, that's absolutely true. But the extension is only for the paperwork. Your balance due is still due on April 15th. And if you don't make the payment to the IRS of the state by April 15th, it's postmarked by April 15th, you start to incur interest, right? Penalties and interest for not filing your revenue, your money in time. So yeah, you get an extension, but that's a paperwork extension. It's not an extension on what you owe the IRS. You got till April 15th, March 15th if you're an entity. Cool.
Lots of good information. There was one question that somebody posted. It was your mother.
Mama.
She said, will you still do our taxes?
Of course, Mama, I still do your taxes. Of course. By the way, Mom doesn't pay me in money.
Tortillas.
Mom pays me in tortillas. Yeah. And hugs and kisses. So I love it. Yeah, I'll take those. I'll take it all day long, Mama. I still got yours. So,
no, never mind. I'll tell you this one offline.
Offline?
Yeah, I'll tell you this one offline.
You already went with the bridges.
Well, no. It's completely irrelevant. Well, what the hell, whatever. So in my studio, I don't have a kitchen.
Okay.
I've been living in this studio since August. No kitchen, right? Just microwave only. I have a friend in the building who has a similar studio, and she is finally moving into another apartment where she's going to actually have a kitchen.
Ooh. And
she's like, she was telling me, she's like, oh, I'm going to have, and rice and beans, and I'm going to make my beans, blah, 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 from scratch, etc., and so on. And she's like,
de la olla.
And then I'm going to have tortillas. And I'm like, oh, where are you going to get your tortillas from? She's like, oh, I'm going to go to wherever and get like the Guerrero. I'm like, no. Let me take care of the tortillas. Let me take care of the tortillas. You can take care of everything else. I'll handle the tortillas.
You're going to bring home Mom's tortillas. She'll be like, where'd you get these? Special made. Custom made factory. Custom order.
Factory direct.
So let me ask Facebook out there. All right. So we got Tom Brady and the Patriots today. All right. That's one option to win. And we got, who's the Rams quarterback? Jared Goff.
Yep.
Jared Goff and the Rams, right? Who do you guys want to see win? Drop it in the Facebook comments. Who do you think it should be the winner this time? So I think what you said about Tom Brady, I think that one needs to come out to the podcast because you said it on the Friday training video. Friday on the Friday pipeline training, right?
I did.
But it's not on the podcast, and I think it's kind of cool if you drop it on the podcast. Well,
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I definitely got it from Reddit or somewhere else. I saw it somewhere. Yeah. But
like most of us, right? We don't really invent anything we say. We
get it from memes.
We get it from memes. We get it from movies, right? We just share it.
Tom Brady is one ring away from completing his Infinity Gauntlet, and as soon as he gets that sixth stone, he's gonna snap and make half the NFL disappear.
I prefer to think he's gonna snap and make the Chargers come back to San Diego.
Oh, I like it.
I would love Tom Brady for that.
Hells yeah.
But hey, Tom does have a lot of haters. By the way, Tom's got this Facebook put out this Tom versus Time video. I thought it was amazing just to see like how hard this guy actually works towards making himself the GOAT.
You know what? I feel like that's relevant to the podcast. Go
I think
ahead.
it is, yeah. So Tom was talking about how he was every single day for the last 18 years. He was saying when he first got in the NFL, he didn't know what he didn't know. He was young. He worked hard. He put in the work that he needed to. But he said the first 10 years of his career, he was never working as hard or as diligent as the last 8 so far. And so he's got 8 years that he's been dieting the exact right way. He's working out the exact right way. He's working his muscles so that they not only contract but they expand the right way. He's got all kinds of different things that he does on a regular basis every single day. And he's sacrificing. He said something like, in order for you to be great at one thing, you must sacrifice another thing. You must, if you're going to say yes to this one thing, you have to say no to this other thing. It's just kind of the way it works, right? You have to have a sacrifice. Otherwise, you can't have both things at the same time. You have to give more to one than you can to the other. And that includes things like if I'm going to be, in his case, if I'm going to be in the NFL, I'm going to be the top quarterback in the NFL, I need to dedicate more time to my diet, more time to my body, more time to my mind, more time to everything that I need to. But what sacrifices is the time that he would spend with his wife, the time that he would spend with his kids, all these other things that are in his life. He has to give up some things to gain the other things. And so one of the things that's cool, and it's a little snippet highlight, he says, if you're going to compete with me, you better be prepared to give your life, because that's what I had to do to be where I'm at. And I was like, dude, fire, right?
Yeah.
Fire.
I expect there are definitely some agents, some people that we've met, just like
Gabe, for example.
Gabe. Oh yeah, Jason.
Cassidy.
Yeah. And a lot of the up and comers, Miss South Bay and some of these other Jonathan. Yeah, I mean these people are people that dedicate their lives to it. And
Zabi.
Zabi. Yeah,
Zabi's another one, man.
Yeah,
Jose,
big time.
Zabi, Jose, dude. I mean, look, they are killing it. If
Adriana Gibbons.
Oh yeah, Miss Gibbons, the Lone Queen.
The Lone Queen.
Look,
that whole office right there. Over
the
there.
Superheroes. What you call them? The League of the
League of Loan. The League of Lenders.
I don't know, something like that. It was cool what you did. You
Yeah.
got to listen to the Lone Queens episode, and then you'll get caught up there. Go. But they're crushing it. Jose Valencia is another one, right?
Yep.
They're out there doing what they need to do. They're sacrificing the time that they would otherwise be, for example, watching the Super Bowl today. I guarantee you they're probably out putting signs for open houses and keeping the house open, because not everybody watches the Super Bowl. Let's be honest. It's not an everybody thing. If it's your thing, you're at home watching the Super Bowl. If it's not your thing, you're taking advantage of the fact that everybody else is out there watching the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's just the way this thing works. So you are giving up one thing to get on the other thing. It's amazing those who have given up that sacrifice and dedicated the effort to win find a way to win.
Speaking of which, I asked Leslie, who are you going for in the Super Bowl? She goes, the Dodgers.
Like I said, see, football's not everybody's thing, right? Some people it's baseball. And I got a lot of people who love baseball. And yeah, we're Dodger fans. I mean, that's just how we grew up. We're from San Diego. We love going to Padre games. We root for the Padres, except when they play the Dodgers. And then we have to root for the Dodgers. It's just kind of the way it is, right? Grandpa.
Hometown team. But then, the Dodgers, that's the heart.
That's the heart, right? That's the heart. That's just been the family heart. So
because we root for the home team.
Root. So that's why when the Chargers left, I didn't have a big squabble with the fact that they went to LA. I had more of a fact that I had more of a heartache that they left San Diego than where they went to LA. So yeah. So Leslie, yes, Dodgers, baby, that's us.
There you go.
So what was I? Oh, what were we talking about? Oh, Tom Brady. Yes,
Tom Brady,
right.
And the greatness and the dedication. And I mean, we talked to so many people that are just like that, though.
Yes.
And that's one of the very impressive things, and one of the things that I do love about what this podcast has brought to us is exposure to people that are such high energy and so dedicated, and it's inspiring.
It makes you want to get up and, like, when you don't have a podcast episode the next day, you show up to the house at 8:30 at night to record for the next day.
Yeah.
Like, you just put in the work because you're around so many people that put in the work.
Yep.
And it's
surround
by
yourself,
osmosis. You surround yourself with people who are doing what it is that you want to do, that are at a level that you want to be. You surround yourself with these people. You learn from these people. You take the wins that they had along with learning from the losses that they have to improve what it is that you do. It's seriously, it's that easy.
Seriously, it's that easy.
And that's one of those things that each and every one of them, almost every single successful agent that we've interviewed has said the same thing. Look, you need to find a good mentor, find a coach, and surround yourself with people who are doing it.
And bust your butt.
And work. And do the work.
Do the work. What a concept.
Yeah, I love
there
that.
Katon. There's another inspiring AF guy.
Yes.
Like, wow. I'm telling you, so many people that we've met, I'm inspired. I really am. I mentioned Miss South Bay a few times because her Instagram stories are just always popping up on my feed. Always popping up on my feed. Ryan and Haley, their stuff is always popping up on my feed. And the more exposure that we have, the more exposure that these people, the more content that they're putting out, the more exposure they're creating for themselves. And it's inspiring. It really is. It's like one of those things that reminds me, hey, this is part of my marketing plan too. This is part of who I'm becoming. This is part of what the world is and where I need to be successful in business. I need to follow this example.
Yes. And to understand that it's a long game.
Yeah.
It's not a short-term success. So what that you posted every single day for 5 days in a row? That means nothing. Add a 0 to the end of that, and then add a 0 to the end of that. And when you have consistency, when you've been doing it regularly, when you've committed to making it a habit, the results will follow. Because it's like trying to work out, right? So what, you went to the gym 5 days in a row and you dropped 3 pounds. Yay! Woo! If you get off the horse too early, those pounds are going to come back, right? You just got to continue to do the work every single day. You got to dedicate yourself to being the person that you want to be, sacrificing the time and getting in the work. Do the work.
Do the work. It's got to be done, man. It's got to be
done. So anyways, how are we doing on time?
We're good, man. We're super good. Like,
okay, cool.
We can close it out.
All right, guys. So we wanted to make sure we hopped on at least one live. We're probably going to record another show here because we want to start getting ahead of it, like I told you at the beginning of the show. But we wanted to do one at least Facebook Live before the Super Bowl to just say hi to you guys and make sure that you guys are out there having a good time, getting some of your questions answered. Didn't know if anybody would hop on Super Bowl Sunday. Maybe not. But hey, either way, thanks for hopping on. If you did, if you didn't, you're watching in a replay. Thanks for listening. We appreciate you guys. And as always, if you guys want to be a part of the podcast, shoot me an email, hernan@csfirst.com. You need help with any of your insurance questions, any of your insurance needs for any of your buyers, sellers, or businesses, you can hit up james@csfirst.com, or you can follow us on our Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter @BusinessBrosPod. That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye-bye.
And I'm out. Thanks, Facebook peeps. We love you so much.